Hey, security peeps, we are back with another edition of Breaking Into Cybersecurity, and I am here. I'm Renee Small, cybersecurity super recruiter, helping amazing leaders get hire cybersecurity talent and helping cybersecurity awesome folks get into roles. And I am here with a special guest today, Jermaine Stanley. Say hi to everyone, Jermaine.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here, Renee.
Excited to have you here. So Jermaine is the vice president of the ISACA Greater DC chapter. Just became vice president recently. He's doing some amazing work, has been with ISACA for over 10 years now, right?
That is correct. It's been about 15 years in total. I've been part of a couple of other chapters, Detroit's chapter, as well as the Phoenix chapter. And my longest stint has been with Greater Washington, D.C.'s chapter.
Okay, wonderful. So Jermaine is here. He's going to talk to us about, we're going to learn a little bit about a few different things, his career, how he got to where he is today. And then I know you all, our cybersecurity peeps, always have questions around certifications. That's one of the things that we'll talk about since he's the VP over at ISACA in the DC chapter, Greater DC chapter of ISACA. And finally, we'll talk about a little bit about this diversity panel that you have that ISACA is having tomorrow. And I'm going to be a panelist, so that's exciting. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. How did you get into the security field?
Wow. So, a lot of things happen for a reason is what I said. I'll start off with that. I got into cyber out of necessity. In 2009, I was working with a pretty substantial accounting tax business consulting firm in Phoenix, Arizona. And during the recession, a lot of things happened. A lot of people lost their jobs. I was also what I would consider let go. It's not performance related, but it's just business was slow. And for those who kept up with those times, Phoenix, Las Vegas, a lot of towns and cities out west in the desert, those areas were hit pretty hard. And from a career perspective, what I was focused on, a lot of those opportunities dried up. So, I started to venture into other paths. What can I do to support my family? And what happened was there was an opportunity on the East Coast here in DC that was more geared towards FISMA, your data security, your information security, and obviously cyber. So I started to venture in that space as well. I also received suggestions from colleagues who said, hey, if you're really looking for an opportunity that's kind of recession proof, get into data security. That was the first time that I really started thinking about data security and cybersecurity. So that was around 2009, 2010, 2011. I decided to make a move and relocate to the East Coast. And ever since then, I've been gradually gaining more momentum as far as experience goes in cyber.
Well, that's awesome. So it's come kind of full circle because 10 years ago, there was the big recession, it was like 2008, 2009, huge recession, and you're in the Phoenix area. Now I'm wondering how people are faring right now in that area. I mean, this is completely nothing like we've ever seen before, this COVID-19 situation. But now being in a recession, what would you tell people? Like what some of the advice that you would give them since you were transitioning into security right around now? And I know a lot of our listeners and viewers are looking to transition into security right around now, especially since security, like to your point, recession proof. Currently, I just read an article that security job postings are up 20%, IT job postings overall up 28%. So what's some advice that you would give people who are looking to transition?
First and foremost, I always say use your network. And I've always advised folks on building your network in a way that when things like this happen, you know you have a group of people you can reach out to, or a community. So that's what saved me during the 2009 recession. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it was not as my network was not as strong as it is now, but back then I made a decision. I said, look, I'm not going to get caught off guard like this again. I'm going to make sure that my network is strong, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm being very selective about that. And it's not, I just connect with anyone. Um, I connect with people for a couple of reasons. And one is just, I like connecting with people. I also like being a conduit for others who might need connections to opportunities, because that's what I look for during those tough times back in 2008 and nine. And LinkedIn saved me. And I'll testify to that. That's how I found my opportunity on the East Coast. There was a LinkedIn post, so I became a believer then of LinkedIn. And so LinkedIn is all about networking. It's all about connecting. It's all about becoming part of different groups that are like-minded, and it's a great platform. Now I know there's other platforms out there that we can use, but for me, networking and having a strong network of people that you trust, that can be sounding boards for you, that can also give you good sound advice, are very important. That's what I recommend to those who are looking to move to their next opportunity.
And it's so interesting because I think that's such great advice, the networking piece, and how much easier networking is due to LinkedIn. So some of us who was around way before LinkedIn became this popular, networking, it was truly physical networking, going to the events and going to the meetups, which we all still were doing prior to COVID-19. I mean, this week is Black Hat is happening all virtually, but most of the folks would be in Vegas in person. So being a believer of LinkedIn, I'm a huge proponent, as you can tell, of LinkedIn on here more than any other social network. You can't catch me anywhere else. And what would you say to people who, because I don't think people fully understand how to really use LinkedIn sometimes. What were some of the things that you saw when you've used LinkedIn for? Like you said, you were very strategic about going in, getting a network, building out. What are some of the specific things that you do or you've done that have made your networking outreach successful?
Well, I could say this is that you learn from others, right? So trial and error is obviously always going to be a part of the equation. And when I see others who are really doing well with the connecting, uh, I look at how they do it. And a couple things came to mind. They post, obviously, but they post content that is relevant and helpful to others. Then that's through a regular post or through an article, or sharing a video or something like that. So that's one of the ways you can do this. Recommendations from others that you work with in your career are good indicators of making a more robust LinkedIn profile. I would also say any skills that you have acquired throughout your career. Don't be afraid to talk about yourself, and that's what LinkedIn allows you to do. You have to talk about yourself. I tell my kids all the time, if we don't know what you're thinking, we don't know what you're thinking unless you say something and voice your opinion, talk about yourself a little bit. It's okay to talk about yourself. Some people don't want to, but in times like this, there are so many folks that are, trying to figure out their next move because the particular career that they're in may not have the ability to pivot, like say us in the cybersecurity space, right? To go
Mhm.
virtual. So you got to have that network, and you got to build it the right way. But those are some of the tips I would leave with the audience.
Perfect. So Paris Brown wants to know, Any advice for a recent master's graduate in IT with an emphasis in security? She's already working in IT, ready to go into security. And that's so typical of some of the folks that come on
Right.
and that watch this.
Right. I would suggest this to parents. And that is, you're already in information technology, which cybersecurity is a component of information technology or information security, right? It's not the thing, it's part of it. And what you can do as a technologist, in my mind, is you can go after some certifications, right? So ISACA offers a few certifications. We have our Certified Information Security Manager or CISM designation that we offer, and our local chapter offers review courses to help you get prepared for the exams that ISACA Global administers twice a year. We also have our Certified Information Systems Auditors designation, or CISA, which is it's our bread and butter. But we also provide that type of certification training. We also have our cybersecurity Nexus platform, which we have a cybersecurity fundamental certificate that we can help you prepare for. We administer that through the Greater Washington, D.C. chapter. So certifications in general help because it gives you, as we all know, it lets you know, or someone know, that, hey, at least you are certified to talk about this subject or to work in this space. So certifications would be one thing. The other thing is connect with people who are in cyber. Connect with Renee, connect with others, connect with me if you want. And you'll see through that process, your network start to organically grow. Think about that. And that's what LinkedIn and other platforms allow you to do.
Yeah. Paris, I ditto. I don't have anything else to add. So Suman says he is looking for a project. Same thing. He recently finished the CISA, actually finished the CISA and CA certification, working with identity and access management and providing IT to auditors. So he wants to know if there are any other recommendations.
As far as certifications are concerned?
I would think just in general.
Say that again?
I think just in general.
In general.
Certifications and in general.
Okay, so as I mentioned, building on what I said about connecting with people who are already doing the work, there are also groups that you can link up with on LinkedIn, right? That will give you some suggestions. Look at the career sites. If you're looking to make another move, there's a lot of, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of open opportunities out there. Become a member of organizations like ISACA. You are a member of ISACA, come out and volunteer with us. We do monthly conferences. Now they're virtual, but we are also looking for great volunteers to help us. So this is a way for you to give back based on your level of experience, but also to sync up with people who are also in your same position as far as your career is concerned, but also those who are more experienced at this, that can give you some guidance and some insights. And that's the one beauty of being a part of an organization like ISACA Greater Washington, D.C.
I wanted to add that sometimes people don't fully understand the how powerful it is to join these organizations and to become active in the organizations. There's always, to your point, where would you really be able to get in front of another seasoned professional, especially when you're early in your career or you're transitioning and you really want to get under someone or get experience from someone that's just more experienced than you. Lending your services and volunteering in organizations like this is a key way to, make people, all of these people, Jermaine and his colleagues, could be hiring. or they'll find out about opportunities very often because their networks are so big and so vast. So by volunteering, think about it. The first person, if Jermaine has a job opening, probably going to go to the volunteers first. Hey, anybody know anybody that's looking? Or go to you and say, hey, are you, you know, are you looking? Are you interested? Because they've seen you volunteer. They've seen how you work. They like your, you know, like everything that you bring to the table. So this is what, like when Jermaine talks about networking and talking about volunteering, my buddy Nambi talked about this last week, getting involved in these working groups, getting involved in these organizations, like really not just saying, oh, I'm a member, but truly volunteering and being a part of the group, because to Jermaine's point, he needs help. You want to get in. Jermaine, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that, Renee, and I'll be blunt with you on this. It's unimaginable. I couldn't fathom how powerful an organization's impact. I'm talking impact that ISACA has had on my career and the career of others. Let me give you a little fact about ISACA Greater Washington, D.C. So ISACA Greater Washington, D.C. is the largest chapter in the world right now when it comes to ISACA chapters. Folks, ISACA has 220 chapters worldwide. That is a testament to its reach. And we at ISACA Greater Washington, D.C. are led by a very dynamic board of directors and officers, which I enjoy working with every year. And we are all about bringing exciting, cool, innovative learning opportunities and content to our members, as well as the larger population. So being attached to an organization like ISACA Global, ISACA Greater Washington, D.C., or any of these ISACA chapters around the United States and around the world, you are plugged into the current pulse of not only cyber, but technology. Technology has no boundaries, as we know. It has no boundaries on gender or where you grew up. It's available. And we're trying to make sure that we are providing a service to those who are not only in the profession, but those who are thinking about getting into the profession of information technology as a whole, or who are underrepresented. They may not have access to this information. We want to try to make that available to them. It's so much more than just volunteering. It's so much learning, so much sharing. I hope that helps. I hope that resonates with the folks on the live stream.
It is. I mean, you got to make me an honorary member. I don't have a certification, but
come on and join us. Join us. It's no problem with joining us.
I will join.
But yes, we are looking. Yes, we're looking forward
Paris
to it.
says, Thank you.
You're welcome, Paris.
Salon says he's interested. He wants to know how to sign up. Paris wants to know, how do I get more information on volunteering at these events and joining these organizations? So what do they do, Jermaine? Do they reach out to you? Do they have to be a member? Do you have to have the certification to volunteer? Like if you're in college?
Yeah, let me answer. Yes. So I have answers to all of those. So you can go to our website, ISACA-GWDC.org. There is a Join ISACA GWDC button on the top of the page. There is a volunteer button as well. You can, become a volunteer. As far as college students is concerned, we are doing a lot of things to allow them to become involved in our chapter. So we don't have our student members pay a member fee, for instance, right? That's usually $25 per year for a college student, but that can, be cost prohibitive to some people. So we make it easier for them to get involved. As I mentioned, is a benefit to get involved. So those are some of the things that they can do. And I'm sorry, I don't want to, use my phone to type in the web address, but
I'll put it in.
Yep. And I'll say it again, ISACA-GWDC.org.
GWDC, right?
Yep. Greater Washington, DC.org. Yes, GWDC.
And the people have been putting it in. Tyrone put it in. There are a couple people here. I'm trying to get to all the comments that are coming in, but folks are very much. Keeney says thank you. Cornelius is checking it out now. Cornelius is ISACA. Tyrone let him know that, and he's a member, and he started out as a student member.
Awesome.
So,
that is wonderful. That is wonderful. Tyrone, thank you so much for the shout out. He's one of our bigger supporters. The other thing that I wanted to add was when you're part of an organization, and this is any, nonprofit organization that is doing good, we partner with other industry experts and other industry organizations that allow us to bring even additional insights and opportunities because we help each other. So think of the the Cloud Security Alliance, which is CSA. That's a big one. We are partnered with them, and we've partnered with some others like Cyber Summit USA, which is a national cybersecurity roadshow that goes around the country and puts on these big events and has top speakers coming in. We've been partnering with them for a number of years, and we're looking to gain additional partnerships. So the beauty of that is some of those members are also, some of their members are also members of our chapter and vice versa. Okay. ISSA DC and ISSA Nova, Northern Virginia, are also partnering with us on a lot of things. So the idea of allowing that cross connection, that intersection, if you want to call it, just enriches the experience for folks who are part of these organizations.
Yeah, so there's so many people joining right now. Baruch says, I will be joining the organization ready to volunteer. Paris says she is joining right now. Looking forward to connecting. So
awesome.
This is like a little recruitment. This is a little recruitment effort here.
That's great.
That's but great. It is. It's really, really powerful. And I think it's overlooked a lot. And I don't think people fully understand what it means to be involved and to join, and also like we said, to volunteer, to get your hands involved, because of the learning, because of the opportunities, because of the networking, all the events that you all put on, and just the great work and the reach and the outreach. And to your point, you're the biggest chapter with how many out of 200 and something chapters, 222 chapters? Is that what you said? Worldwide?
Yes.
That the DC metro area is the biggest one. So it is just so powerful. And we've seen this happen so many times in the past, where people go in and just make these amazing, network friendships, all these different things that come out of it. So I can't champion organizations like this enough for people looking to break in, and seasoned people in the field too.
Absolutely.
So, okay, we got somebody from YouTube says, I have experience as a desktop support and network support. What certification do I need to get into security? This is Mighty Men.
Wow, you might be good at some of the certified ethical hacking aspects. Obviously, the CISP is going to give you that foundational aspect because you're going to talk about the OIS stack or model. You're going to learn about that. You're going to learn about encryption through some of that. So I would say start with either start with the Security Plus, which gives you some basics, then graduate to the CISSP if you're really trying to break, or I'm sorry, I interrupted myself there, or go after the Certified Information Security Manager designation, or CISM from ISACA. Those three can get you on your way.
Yeah. And he just asked, his follow-up question was, is the Security Plus worth it? And you just answered that while you were chatting. So yes. And I think there's been a lot of discussion around degrees versus certifications versus skills and all these various things. how would you, I mean, there's been some statistics out there around people who have a certain level of certain certifications earning on average certain amounts of money. What would you say to people overall when they talk about certs? I mean, it comes up probably every single live stream that we do, certifications versus degrees versus skills, or not, maybe not all versus, but maybe when in someone's career should they be working on which. That might be a better way to break it down from your perspective, from what you've seen be successful.
So that's interesting because today it's all about the hands-on knowledge that you can bring to companies. So cyber is moving so fast. You've heard some of the companies like Google, Oracle, some of the bigger companies, even some of the bigger banks going and hiring folks who have certifications versus a degree because the practicality of it all. But I think you still should have a good mix of education as well as certifications. It's just more well-rounded. But I can see the transition from, hey, I need a job. We're in this crisis. I need to get a skilled trade, because I remember those days when I was growing up, it was all about working in the auto industry. I grew up in Michigan, so I know how that works. Hey, go get a skilled trade, you'll be fine. That was the thing back in those days. But today, it's all about cybersecurity, information technology in general. You think about data analytics and other career areas that you can get into, or disciplines you can get into. Those are skilled trades. Those are the skilled trades for the 21st century. So, you can't sleep on the certifications, but you have to, support that with, and I'll go back to the bread and butter, support that with a strong network. Support that with being involved in organizations that can help you advance your career. Because, as I said earlier, I'll go back to this time and time again, the knowledge that you gain in organizations like ISACA and others, it's priceless. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think it would. Mighty Men, he says, cool, thanks. So he's going to take the advice. Michael Grant says, I am studying now the Security Plus, but after Security Plus, I'm looking to take the SSCP. Is that a good certification after the Security Plus, or should I go straight to the CISSP? I also have my bachelor's degree in information cybersecurity.
Wow, that is impressive. You can probably get indoors with some of the companies out there right now. I would say it's up to you, right? CISSP is one of the highly recognizable certifications as far as cybersecurity is concerned. Now you can add a few other designations from a CS, that are focused from a CISSP perspective, and as certifications go, if you add in the number of years experience you have with the certification and your experiences in general, you can see that your salaries that are associated with them are at a higher premium than someone who may not have that certification. So in my regards, or my opinion rather, I'm sorry, I would say go for the CISSP, since you've already got a basic foundation in place and you've already studied information security at the collegiate level. So why not? Go for it. Swing for the fences.
Now, what if he doesn't have, I know at one point in time, and I don't know if Jermaine, if you know the answer to this, but I know at one point in time, because ISACA is not, ISC squared is the CISSP governing body, and ISACA is the system and CISA governing body and others. So I preface this with by saying that to the folks here. So Jermaine, even though he's going to give you data and feedback and information regarding certs from his opinion, he's not, I don't know if he's on the board of ISC squared. So he might not necessarily have every single answer. But with that said, the CISSP a few years ago, it used to be that, to get it approved or to get the official certification, you had to have 5 years of experience. And then they used to have one, I believe, that you could take the test and be either an associate CISSP or something like that. Is that still the case? So you can be in school or come out of school, take the test without the 5 years. And then when you get the 5 years, you're the official CISSP. Do you know if that's still happening?
Yes, that is still happening from what I understand. And to your point earlier, yes, I am not on the board of ISC squared, nor can I, speak broadly about them. But there's enough, folks that I know who are part of our chapter who also hold that designation that I can speak a little bit about it. So, but yes, to your question, I believe that's still out there.
Okay, cool. And then another Cornelius to know, again, he says OSCP versus CISSP. Would love to hear the answer to that. So I don't know.
Wow. I'm going to lean to what I already know. I'm going to lean towards CISSP. Yeah. Now, if it's a highly, specialized, what's the word, certification, this other one, he or she may, attract a higher salary, because of that, because it's such a specific and high in demand certification, but hard to find, people who might have it. Yeah.
I believe the OSCP, and I'm not 100% sure either, because I'm not part of any of the certifying bodies, but I do believe it's more specialized. I think you have to do labs and things for this particular one. And the offensive security. So Cornelius says it's the offensive security certification. And I believe it's more in depth, and I think it may have, the compensation and the opportunities out there that require it or seeking it, maybe, like to your point, specialized. So maybe, all maybes, nobody quote me on anything. This is just me from a recruiter perspective, looking at different things that I see that leaders typically want in a marketplace and things like that. So, so Mighty Man is back again. He says, during these rough times, does it make sense to get the CISSP certification and save money and not take the security plus? He says CISP, which I'm assuming is CISSP that he means. I'm just looking for your recommendation on that.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. So during these rough times, does it make sense to get the CISSP certification only and save money, or and not take the security plus? So he's a person who had asked before about as a person going into the field with the help desk and that kind of background, if it made sense to get, which degrees it made sense to get. And you said to start off with the security plus, which I think is a more cost-effective certification to get anyway, right?
Yeah, it is more cost-effective. I think CompTIA is the one that owns that certification. It is not as expensive or costly to be a part of that. But if you're seeking to, and you have confidence in your abilities, and if I heard you correctly, they have their network experience, they might do well with going after the CISP, because it does speak a lot on some of the networking aspects, securing the network layer and other layers in the OSI stack. So that would probably resonate well with them. You can also take the approach of, okay, if I needed to make a decision, I can also, get content on Security Plus, right? Use that as some material to augment my studies if I'm going for the CISSP, right? So you can kind of use them hand in hand, if you ask me. So to answer the question directly, it depends on what if you feel comfortable with going after the CISSP, right? It doesn't sound like you're new to this space. So I would recommend that, CISSP, for someone who has a little bit more experience like you have. But someone with lesser experience and are maybe even changing careers altogether and trying to get into cyber, you definitely want to do the Security Plus to get you that foundation.
Right. There was a comment up here that talked about Black Hat, DEF CON that I want to post. So earlier, Dylan, when we talked about just networking and getting out there and doing various things, Dylan says DEF CON is this week and it's a great place to network. So just letting everyone know again, DEF CON, Black Hat, all of these places, this is where, all the security people are. So being a part of this is great. Another person, you got somebody else. Martin is ready to join up. So they're ready to join, Jermaine.
Hey, come on, we're ready. So we are at about 4,500 members right now, active members, not just in our mailing list, which is probably 2 or 3 times larger, but we have that many folks that are actively involved with the various certifications that we offer, as well as the events that we host. Our goal, we want to try to hit 8,000 members. That's how aggressive we're thinking about growing this. And the pandemic, as bad as it is, it's been a blessing because people are sitting still. They're trying to figure out different ways to enhance their skills and to keep them fresh and constant and current. And we're positioned to help them with that. So come on, we're waiting for you. We welcome you with open arms.
So reach out to Jermaine, everybody who wants ISACA, the website, and Jermaine. So Jermaine, we're at the almost 37-minute mark. And I know you have a lot to do and really, really appreciate your time. Can you talk a little bit about what is going to happen tomorrow? Because we want all these people that are listening to get a glimpse into what ISACA provides and what you do. So talk about a little bit about that diversity panel that's coming up tomorrow.
Wow, we are so excited about this. And thank you, I'll say this out loud, for being a panelist on this.
I'm excited.
This panel. It's a very important topic, as you know, right now with what's playing out in the United States and globally. And it's important for us to help continue the conversation. As you see, a lot of companies after the incidents in Louisville and Minnesota and Georgia, it's got a lot of companies thinking about this, about diversity and inclusion. And only thing that we're trying to accomplish here is, one, to keep the conversation going, because it's one thing to talk about it and do something, donate here, but you got to keep the conversation going. And we have a platform to do that. So we're going to, have folks like yourself and others share their insights from the various areas they come from. We have the government, U.S. federal government. We have the U.S. Armed Services represented. We have technology companies represented. So, and then of course yourself, who come from the what should companies be doing to attract a more diverse and representative recruiting pipeline. So, that is one of the goals. The other goal is to educate folks on how diversity. And I'll say that again, why it matters, and we're looking forward to the panelists to share those insights on how having a diverse workforce just makes it better for everyone. So we're looking forward to everybody coming out tomorrow. So please come on out and check us out. Okay, wonderful. And like I said, thank you. I'm honored to be a part of the esteemed panel. I feel, I hope I live up to the test, because there's some powerful people on that panel tomorrow. And yes, it'll be very, very interesting to talk about some of these topics and diversity in talent and recruiting and retention and
just as a whole. You know, Chris and I, when Chris is on the website, on the podcast, we talk a lot about diversity of thought and just bringing in different perspectives. And it's so, so, so key and so important. And it just makes better business sense overall. You know, the statistics are out there. So I'm not going to get deep because we're going to talk about it tomorrow. If anybody wants to join, what is the Cornelius said he just signed up to attend. Yes, that is the purpose of this. We want everybody to sign up. Cornelius said, I just signed up to attend. Looking forward to it. I would love to be a future panelist regarding youth engagement. So Cornelius, he's ready. He's ready. So yes, would love for folks to attend. And Jermaine, what's the website that they can use? Should they, is it on the ISACA DC website, or I can post it up too?
Yes, it is.
It's on that
and
website.
It's if you go to our home, I'm sorry, if you go to our home page, you'll see upcoming events, and there that folks can click on and get to the event page, and they can register there. This is a free event, doesn't cost you anything but your time. Let me set the table a little bit too. There's 2 panels, so we're going to have a group of panelists starting at 3 o'clock, and then at 4 o'clock we're going to bring on an additional 4 panelists. So we're going to have a couple hours of talking about different things related to diversity and inclusion in organizations. So they can go look at all of our upcoming events. We also have a Women in Leadership and Technology event coming up. That is a marquee event for us as well. Please look to attend that event. And we have some other events that we post regularly on our website. So check it out.
Okay, excellent. So Noelle wants to know, how much does she need in order to belong to the organization? So if you're a student, it's free for the panel tomorrow. I don't know about the future ones, but for tomorrow, it's definitely free. And then if Jermaine, can you let her know if she's a student, the pricing, and if she's not a student, what it is to join, how much it costs to join?
To become a member. It's for students, it's less than a typical full-fledged member, which I think it's in total $225 or something like that in total for the year. And the reason why that's the case is a large part of that goes to ISACA Global. Okay. And then the chapters have their fee that you become a part of. And for our actual students, I think it was $25 to get them involved, but we are covering that cost for those who become a member of ISACA Greater Washington, D.C.
Okay, great. So if you're a student, it's no cost.
And yes.
Right now.
Yes, and I would like to add too, that's true. If you go to our site and us or join ISACA Greater Washington, DC, you will lessen the prices associated with it. So everything's on the site. There are email links that you can leverage to reach out to people if you have some.
Okay, perfect. So Jermaine, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast today. We really, really appreciate your time. Bringing this information directly from the organization is so crucial and so important. And sharing your story about how powerful it has been for you to be a part of ISACA has been, I think, amazing. And we haven't really had as many people as we've had on the Breaking Into Cybersecurity podcast. We haven't had anyone who is a VP inside of one of the governing bodies of such a huge, organization that has so many members and have so many people that are certified. So this was fantastic. And hearing your view is really, really powerful. And I think it would really resonate with the folks out there. So thank you so much.
Renee, it's been an honor, as I said earlier, and thanks for having me. We're looking forward to having you on tomorrow. And to all the folks that follow you and view you and attend these live streams, this is powerful. This is where it is. This is where it's happening. And I like to also add one last thing. When it comes to cyber, you also have to keep in mind, and this might be another topic another day, the human factor, because it all starts with human behavior. Technology only can take us so far, but unless you are practicing good habits, just like if you were, dealing with the pandemic, practice good habits to protect yourself, protect your assets, protect the ones you love.
Excellent. Perfect way to end off.
All right.
A LinkedIn user says this was great. I don't know who it is, but thank you. And we will make sure to connect. Cornelius, yes, I'll connect with you as well. And we will make sure to hopefully we see you all, or you all will see us tomorrow in the diversity panel, ISACA's diversity panel. So I'll make sure to post that link on my LinkedIn as well, and I'll post it here afterwards when we're done. And we look forward to seeing everybody hopefully tomorrow afternoon. Thank you so much, Jermaine.
Thank you, Renee. Have a great day.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.